Here is Tom's legacy. And Tom is a 16 one-hand, 5-year-old thoroughbred gelding by Cloud Computing. And I've had Tom since May. So I've had Tom for, oh goodness, about 6 months actually, half the year. Now, Tom came off the track in 2023 as a 3-year-old with 4 starts where he never hit the board. He was a horrible racehorse. He actually sold as a yearling for $52,000 and then he made back $800 for his connection. So, pretty awful racehorse. And if you were to sit on him, you would understand why. He's just so quiet and he does not want to go anywhere fast. And actually, when Tom came off the track as a 3-year-old, he came through Benchmark where I was riding at the time, and I actually restarted him as a 3-year-old, and I showed him to a friend of mine who I used to board with what feels like a lifetime ago when I lived over in the Annapolis area before I had my own place. And she bought him, and she had him for the last 2 years. And she's a hunter rider, so she developed him as a hunter, which I can totally, obviously he makes a great hunter because he's so quiet and he's so steady. Um, and when she decided that she couldn't afford 2 horses anymore, she reached out to me. And so I bought him. And when I got him in May, I didn't intend on keeping him for so long, but I was having I was going through some growth with my personal horse, and I just really needed a simple ride that could just make me feel good about it. And Tom was that. I just got Tom at the right time, and he really was just he is just such a simple, easy type of horse to ride. And for whatever reason, he was just the horse that I needed in the moment to sort of help me get through what I was going through with my personal horse. So I kept him, and I had a lot of fun with him this year, getting him going as an event horse. He could continue to be developed as an event horse. He could easily go back to Hunter World. He doesn't care. He's happy to do whatever. He's not a very emotional horse about anything, really, which is part of what makes him so cool. He's just very unflappable. Unlike my personal horses, which are pretty intense and sensitive types, Tom is the exact opposite. Tom is just like a chill surfer dude every day, all day long. And he's just a big, goofy horse, and uh, he's really quite lovely to ride. I mean, he's very steady. If anything, he's very light, and so if anything, he gets a little bit low. He can get a little bit behind the vertical sometimes. So he's in the Hermspringer duo. I definitely think that that is the bit for him. So that's really the only thing I can fault him. I mean, obviously the horse makes a beautiful shape. He's a lovely mover. He has a fantastic canter. He has all the things. So I made this video because I'm sort of formally putting him on the market now. So I thought that that means that I should start getting some newer video. But I actually have quite a bit of video spread out from over the summer of Tom. And so this here, I'm just showing how quiet this horse is, that you can literally drop your reins and put your hands on your hips, and the horse will just sort of continue plodding around the ring. So you can make this horse look really fancy, and you can also sort of just treat him as like a lesson horse if you want to. And I'm not saying I want him to be a lesson horse. I don't. But I'm just saying that he is just sort of that quiet. He is unfazed. So anyway, in the 6 months that I've had Tom, I have carted this horse all over the place. He probably went on 1 or 2 field trips with me every single week for the last several months. So he has been everywhere. Most notably, he accompanied Seven to RRP at the Kentucky Horse Park in October. So he spent the week at the horse park with me. And I rode him every day. I rode him all over the park, in all the rings, out on the cross country course, in the head of the lake water jump. He was phenomenal. And I have a bunch of video of that in his YouTube playlist. I also took him to, this is sort of crazy. I can't believe I did this. It's wild looking back on it. He did his first ever event at the recognized Virginia Horse Center horse trials at the end of last month, which is just so crazy to take a young horse there for their first event, because it's just such a huge atmosphere. And I have to say, he handled it wonderfully. Of course, he was a young horse and he was green and he had some little mistakes and bobbles, but all in all, he was fantastic, and he jumped around the cross country clear, and he put in a respectable dressage test. He actually found the stadium jumping to be sort of the most pressure filled for him. And, in that ring with everything going on around it, I totally understand. And the jumps are scary and there's just a lot going on. So he was green in the stadium jumping, but it's fine. He'll come out better the next time for it. It was a great learning experience for him. And anywhere else he goes now will probably seem like a lot less pressure because that's a pretty busy, bustling atmosphere at the Virginia Horse Center. And he was fantastic. So um, those are just two of the places that he's been. I've just had him all over, and I've taken him back and forth to Virginia a bunch with me this summer to take lessons with my friend Martha. And so he's just, the horse has done a lot. So he's not done a lot of formal competing yet, but he's been a million places, done a bunch of things. He loads great, he hauls great, he ties wonderfully to the trailer. He is the same horse anywhere else as he is at home. You can get on this horse in any atmosphere, and he's very chill. What else? He is he is a gorgeous horse. You know, he's that classic, really dark bay with the little star and some white. I call him a black bear. That's what he reminds me of because he's such a dark bay. He's almost black and he's got the brown nose, and it just reminds me of a black bear. So that's what I jokingly call him all the time. Billy's actually ridden him Western and had a fantastic ride on him. And after he rode him, he was like, "Yeah, I can see why you kept him because he's really fun and really easy. And he just kind of makes you feel like you can ride because he's just so simple. And he just kind of goes around and pleasantly does all the things." Tom's flat work has come a very long way in the last 6 months. When he came to me, he was still pretty unconfirmed about picking up the right lead and just in general having the correct sort of flexion to the right. So we spent a lot of time working on that. He's really coming along. He's excellent now about picking up his right lead. I would say that it's almost as good as the left transitions. Not quite as good yet, but it's certainly on the right track and getting there. And it just is going to take more strengthening, more practice, nothing tricky or weird going on whatsoever. It's just very straightforward. What else? Tom is easy in the barn in the fact that, well, right now I've had him living out 24/7 with Sunshine and Cowboy for the last month. So at the moment, he's accustomed to 24/7 turnout, and he's done great with that. He's very good with Sunshine and Cowboy. He's actually at the bottom of the barrel. Tom thinks that he should be top dog until you actually put him out with a horse that is top dog, and then he immediately realizes that he's not that tough and he's not that cool. He's also perfectly content in a stall. You know, all summer long he would be in during the day with his fan and out at night, and he's perfectly content to live that life as well. Of course, I always prefer that my horses have as much access to turnout as possible, but he's perfectly content in a stall. He's very good on cross ties. He does this funny thing on cross ties where he sticks out his tongue and he chews on it. So pretty much the moment I put him on cross ties, he wants to start popping his tongue out the corner of his mouth and chewing on it. It's just his funny little quirky thing. I mean, he's kind of a goofy horse, and so it suits him. He's just a goofball about that. But he stands very nicely on cross ties and for all the things. He's excellent about clipping. He is a really fun, simple horse. And if you want to feel like, if you want a horse to make you feel good about yourself and just feel like you can sit up there and look pretty, that's kind of Tom. That's how he's made me feel, and it's been really fun.